So this time we're going to talk about some mistakes I've seen content creators or just people new to Tokyo making when they're trying to go out and hang out and have fun here in the Tokyo area. I got the idea from watching this video from this creator called Shu, and he's a traveler. And during his time in Japan, he went out in Shibuya one time, and it was kind of cringe for me to watch what he was doing because he made a lot of mistakes. And so I thought I could give you 4 simple tips that will help you on your trip to Japan, your first time coming to Shibuya and in other areas of Tokyo, so you just don't go walking around the street meeting weird people. Of course, if you are used to going out to clubs, some of this information might seem like common sense to you, but there are certain nuances and caveats to it, which I'll try my best to explain. I've gone clubbing in several different cities in America, as well as other countries in Asia and in Japan, and I think in Tokyo, it's a little bit different than my experience in other places for a few different reasons I'll let you know about. But it'll definitely be helpful for you. Of course, these are general rules and, everything is case by case, but I do think it will help you if you're new to the Tokyo nightlife scene. So one of the first big mistakes I can tell you is not knowing the schedule, not doing your research. This is where I've seen a lot of stuff on TikTok, a lot of stuff on YouTube, just people who just come into Japan like, yo, I'm going to Shibuya, I'm going to Roppongi, I'm going here. You might have heard me talk about it like I was guilty of it when I first came here as well, and people told me don't do it, and I ended up doing it and it didn't go that well. Not for anything dangerous, but just because like I didn't have as good of a time as I did later on when I actually took my time and did research on the schedule, the places that I want to go, having a plan A, a plan B, and maybe even a plan C, depending on how the night goes. It's just so important here, just because you hop around to so many different places, and there's just so many different options for you. You're going to want to know, like, generally speaking, where you want to go, and whether you're by yourself or with a group of people, be able to map out in your mind, like, okay, this isn't working for me right now. Maybe I'll hop over here and see what's going on, depending on whether you're going to an izakaya, a nightclub, a standing bar, or something like that. Nightclubs, you're a little bit kind of locked in, especially if there's a cover charge, but the bars and other stuff like that, you're kind of more free to go and come and go as you please. So, go one place isn't there, you can go check somewhere else and then come back later when it gets a little bit more popping. But you're gonna have to do your research, especially understanding the difference between weekends and weekdays. I did another video about it sometime in the past, but I'll just state it again. You weekdays are gonna be hit and miss, of course, because it's a weekday. And if you're going to a nightclub, generally speaking, like, it's not going to be popping before. Like, it's either 2 patterns. It's either not going to be popping, but last train is like the borderline. It's either not going to be popping until last train, then after last train it gets popping, or it's going to be really popping until about last train, and then it's going to fall off a cliff. Like, it's going to be one of those 2 things. The first one is because, like, people, younger people, especially younger people coming from other areas, or, arriving at last train and then they're ready to party all night. Or the latter one will be like Tokyo business people, for example, getting off work, wanting to party, have a good time, and then around last train they gotta go home because they gotta get ready for work in the morning. It's gonna be up to you to find out which of those patterns it falls into. Of course, it's not a universal thing. Some clubs just might be dead all night, but searching online, finding some information, maybe even contacting a promoter on Instagram or something like that, seeing if you can get yourself on a guest list. All those things can kind of help you lock in exactly where you want to go and get maybe even some special perks, depending on where you are, what you're doing. Next one is a pretty important one. Wearing the wrong clothes, right? Or basically having the wrong look, right? It goes into where you're going and what you're doing. So you might want to wear whatever you want to wear, and I don't know what you wear, but here in Japan, like, outward appearance is very, very important. And you need to be cognizant of where you're going. This goes into planning. You don't just wear the same, old t-shirt that you wear every day and then think it'll work for you. You have to kind of fit in a little bit. Of course, be yourself, but Me as well. I have a range of outfits that I wear, clothes, shoes, etc. And I know if I'm going in this area, I'll kind of skew into this side of the range, the more like, mature looking range. And if I'm going here, I might better dress a little bit more street, a little bit more hip hop, a little bit more urban, and I'll kind of like, depending on my mood and where I'm going, go somewhere within that range. And I'd say you should have that as well. Leave a like or leave a comment, if you are experiencing it with nightclub life here, to give people some ideas about areas and things to wear and your experiences and stuff like that if you want to. But that's a really important thing to understand, because your perception of people will change drastically depending on what you're wearing. If you're wearing the wrong thing, the right thing in the wrong area, the amount of love, the amount of attention, the amount of play you might get, it drastically varies. So you got to be really cognizant of that thing. Another note about clothes. Generally speaking, shoes are not that important here. Like, there's generally not going to be a dress code or a strict dress code at all. So don't wear your nice shoes if you're going out all night or something like that. Nobody really cares about your shoes that much. Okay. It's more like, knees up is the most important stuff. Of course, don't wear some like dirty bummy, like old, beat up shoes either, but you don't need to wear like your Gucci loafers or anything like that. Nobody's really going to be looking at it that much, generally speaking, especially if you're going out to like a nightclub or a serious bar or something like that. It's going to be dimly lit. There's not going to be like a dress code anyway, so you don't really have to focus too much on that. I would say put more attention on like your upper body, your shirt, maybe, of course, secondarily some pants, cologne. Don't do it, okay? Just don't do it. Use deodorant. Don't do cologne. Use deodorant. That's gonna be more than enough, because like you're gonna smell too strong and you're gonna mess up the atmosphere of the whole place. So just deodorant. Focus on like your shirt, your pants, maybe a hat if you want to. I don't know. You don't really need to wear sunglasses. Again, sunglasses, especially at night, you might want to have your stunning shades on or whatever you're doing, but that isn't really a thing here either. Wearing sunglasses at night makes you look a bit more shady as well, actually. Generally speaking, mafia members are the ones who wear sunglasses at night. So Japanese people, because you're a foreign guy, especially like me, if you're a black guy, at nighttime, makes you look even more suspicious and more threatening to people. So just not keeping the sunglasses at home might be, unless they're like, unless you go into a hip hop club and you look like you're in a rap video and you have like those kind of type sunglasses, then maybe, if it fits the look, if it fits the mold, maybe, yeah, if you can pull it off, do it. But it's not like a thing that you have to do. Next one is kind of a really important one, like looking scary, right? Looking too serious, intimidating Japanese people. If you're new to Japan, or you just hopped off the plane, especially if you're like me, like, you're from the inner city, you're from like an area where there's, like pretty much a decent amount of like risk to your personal safety in your everyday life, you have a radar, that you have up against potential danger. And that makes you kind of stiff and a little bit, have a little mean mug on without even realizing it. You might think you're chilling, but you're looking like, you can kind of see like, I'm extremely lighthearted. And this is my Japan mode. If you catch me in America, that kind of mask radar goes back up, the longer that I'm in America, just because like I have to, my personal safety, my family safety and stuff like that. But here, I don't have to worry about that. I'm just chilling. I'm enjoying my life. And that's how most people are here. Completely oblivious to anything. I'm not oblivious, but, I don't have to worry about that on a regular basis. So lighten up. Remember, your atmosphere is kind of how people judge you. So you might be trying to talk to a girl or approach a girl, and she might just think you're scary just because you're frowning, you got a mean mug on or whatever. You might not realize it. I'm not saying you gotta like be smiling like a little idiot all over the place, but just be aware you can relax here. Even if you're in like a hip hop club that might seem like it's tough, generally speaking, like, nobody's going to really mess with you. Nobody's going to test you. Nobody's going to try you like that. If you go into Japan with love, with, just peace, you don't have anything to worry about. Like, I've been in plenty of clubs with like groups of dudes. I'm just like, okay, I'm here by myself, and it's totally cool. A lot cooler than it was like in America going clubbing by myself as well. So I just say you don't really need that at all. And that will block a lot of, love, attention, play from girls that you might get. That's a huge mistake I see. You just have to be aware of it and just be a little bit more lighthearted than you would in your everyday life back home, because without, if you're a young guy, generally speaking, you are safe here. You really don't have much to worry about, as far as your personal safety. So just let that soak in, let it be aware of that walking down the street. And as you go out amongst your night, the people that you meet, the people that you talk to, the places that you go, let that show. And people will, if you're disarmed, if you will, other people will be also disarmed, and you'll be able to approach, talk, meet, and maybe get a little something. You never know. Now, I saved the best for last. This is one of the most important things that rookies kind of fall for, and you're gonna need to learn. You might learn the hard way. If you listen to some other OG Japan-related content creators, they've talked about it. I want to do one by this guy named Chase. If you don't know Chase, this is Chase right here. I saw him talk about it as well before, and it's really, really true. You don't want to befriend Japanese guys, especially young Japanese guys. Like, stay away from them. They're gonna be like, "Yo, you're the man, what's up?" And they're gonna swarm you, especially if you got a little swaggy sauce on you. You're dripping a little bit. They are going to want to be friends with you and ingratiate you into their circle. Don't be rude, be nice, but just try and dip out. Just, hey, what's up? And dip out as smoothly as possible. Trust me, you will get no play from these guys. I'm not saying directly from these guys, as a result of hanging with these guys. Like, trust me, they'll make you feel like the man. They'll yell. They might even buy you some drinks. But when it comes down to it, they're gonna either cock block you directly or indirectly cock block you, is what I'm trying to say. And once they're latched on to you, and if they think you're a cool guy, there's no shaking these guys. Once you're locked in, you're locked in. And there's nothing you can pretty much do about it. Like, of course, I've been out, I've met really cool Japanese guys. I'm not trying to pigeonhole all Japanese dudes. There are lots of, not lots, but there are cool Japanese dudes who you can just hang, chill, talk with, and vibe out with, and have a really good time with, meeting someone that you've never met before. But in a nightclub situation, especially if you're younger, more than likely there are more guys who will cock block you in some form or another, and you won't realize it until it's too late. That's the issue. So whether it's you, whether it's with your friends, don't really, you gotta kind of protect your circle a little bit. Not be rude, but just just kind of like, okay, cool, hey, have a good night, okay, see ya, after something like that, and let them keep pushing, or you keep pushing on yourself. So if you do all those things, the quality of your night will definitely go a lot higher. I have some more advice for you in this video. Check it out, and I'll talk to you soon.